Today was a complete bummer. When I woke up this morning, I found that my car wasn't charged. And before I go into the car and show you, I wanted to give you a look at my wall connector to show you what's going on. But nonetheless, my car wouldn't charge this morning. I came out and I saw this. I have a red light that is blinking 6 times with no other light indication on it whatsoever. So when I went to charge the car overnight, thinking that when I woke up this morning, I'd have enough battery to get me to and from work, but that wasn't the case. I had to run to a supercharger and get this bad boy charged. So there's a couple issues that I have here. We're gonna get to the resolution to this problem here in just a minute, but one of the issues that I had, why didn't the car notify me that it wasn't charging? Or notify me that the charger wasn't operating correctly and therefore the car wasn't charging, right? It's so weird that the car wouldn't do that. And I would expect, since charging the car is the most important thing, I don't understand why it wouldn't send a notification to me that the car wasn't charging or the charging was interrupted. And for those of you who are gonna say it, yep, absolutely, I have notifications turned on, so there's no reason that if the car was able to send me a notification that it wasn't charging, it could have. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the manual to identify what this means, and then we're gonna try and fix it to see if I have a problem with my connector, because I know it's not my car, because I did go to a supercharger this morning to charge and it worked perfectly fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this into the car and we're gonna see if we could reproduce the message that I saw on the screen this morning so that you guys can see what it is, and then we'll take a look at the manual and a few options that we have to get this fixed. All right, so everything looks normal. This isn't red, which would indicate that something is wrong, and when I plug the car in and see that, that's a normal status light for me, so I would not have gone back to the charger to see the red light flashing. So I had no indication when I plugged the car in that I was having an issue. All right, let's jump in the car and take a look at what the screen says. Here we go. Charging equipment not ready. See equipment instructions to start charging. All right, so that was the message that I got this morning. And just so you guys can see, I have no notification on my phone that would dictate the charging is not ready or will not charge, which to me is a big deal. It's a huge deal that the car doesn't notify you that there is a charging issue so that you can address it. That really is a bad ploy by Tesla. In my opinion, they really need to get that fixed. I would have loved to received a notification so that I could have came back out here to the car and, fixed whatever was going on with, or at least tried. All right, so I had already looked this up previously, and we're gonna go to page 27, I believe it is. Let's get this up here a little bit. And we're gonna find our condition. So here it is right there. So our condition is the green light is off, the yellow light is off, and we have 6 flashes. And it auto retries after every minute, but obviously that didn't work. So what it's telling us is a communication error had occurred between the wall connector and the vehicle. So we have an option here. We can try it again by disconnecting the wall connector from the vehicle and reconnecting it, which I did, and it did not work because obviously I tried that this morning. If possible, plug the vehicle into another wall connector or mobile connector to determine if the vehicle is able to communicate with other charging equipment. If the problem persists, call Tesla. Well, I know that the car will actually take a charge because, like I said, we did go to the supercharger and it took a charge, no problem whatsoever. So there's there's 2 things that we can do here. I'll show you again here in the manual what those 2 options are to see if we can get the wall connector reset and get the car charged. All right, so if we scroll down here, we have 2 options. This is what it says. If a fault causes a red error light to illuminate or flash and the fault condition is corrected, reset the wall connector to resume normal operation. There are 2 ways to rest. They didn't even spell it correctly. Look at that. Come on, Tesla. There are 2 ways to reset the wall connector. Option 1, press the reset button for 2 or 3 seconds until the top light changes from red to green. This clears the fault message but does not reboot the wall connector. Option 2, in a rare situation, you might need to force the wall connector to reboot without recycling the input power. Hold the reset button for 5 seconds. When the top light changes from red to green, release the reset button. The top light should continue to illuminate green. If the light returns to flashing red, the fault state has not been corrected. So that is in case like there was some wiring or some other issues that the wall connector is sensing, and they're telling you that you need to fix that before the reset will work. All right, to save some time, I had already removed the cover, which is just held in by one screw, to get to the reset button. The reset button is located on the side of the charger here. Try and zoom that in a little bit. And basically what we're going to do is hold this in for 2 or 3 seconds until this light changes to green. Let's give it a shot. And boom. There it is. So now that looks a little bit more normal to me. Why don't we go ahead and plug it in and see if it actually works. Boom. So that's what I want to see, and that's what I want to see. Let's go take a quick look in the car to make sure that everything looks good on here, that the error message went away. And sure enough, it did. No error message there. You can see we are actually charging right now, so we are in good shape. So really just to go over a couple things here. One, to note that I've had the wall connector in the car for over 2 years, never had a problem with it, so I know for a fact that it had nothing to do with my wiring. The wall connector must have got hung up some way, somehow, and that's what caused the car not to charge last night. But nonetheless, I think the most thing that I'm upset about is that it didn't notify me that the car wasn't charging, which is crucial. So when I woke up and got ready to leave at 5:30 this morning and couldn't drive the car to work, which made me take a detour, go to a supercharger, and then charge it, which took about an hour, I'll say, out of my day this morning. And of course, running late for work, which isn't a big deal. But nonetheless, if I was notified when I plugged the car in that something was malfunctioned and the charger wasn't working correctly, I wish it would have just sent me a notification on my phone and I could have did this. It took me literally, if I wasn't recording this video, 3 minutes, and I would have reset the charger and I would have been plugged in and would have been good to go. So I just wanted to do this quick video for you folks, just in case you run into a similar problem, you know exactly what you need to do. So thank you so much for tuning in, folks. I truly appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.